In January 2020, an incident involving a Boeing 777 over Los Angeles raised several important questions about aviation safety and emergency procedures. This incident was unusual, as it involved the dumping of fuel over a populated area. In this video, we'll cover what fuel dumping is, why it's necessary in certain emergencies, and the protocols in place for safety. Fuel dumping, also known as fuel jettison, is a procedure used to reduce an aircraft's weight in cases where an emergency landing is required shortly after takeoff. Large aircraft, like the Boeing 777, often carry more fuel than is necessary for landing. This fuel adds weight, and in certain emergency situations, it becomes crucial to reduce it. The purpose of reducing weight is primarily to avoid excessive stress on the aircraft's structure upon landing. A Boeing 777's maximum takeoff weight is often much higher than its landing weight. If a problem arises shortly after takeoff, the plane needs to return to the airport without delay. In cases like these, fuel jettison can help bring the plane down to its allowable landing weight more quickly. Generally, this procedure is performed at higher altitudes so that the fuel evaporates before reaching the ground. However, when time is critical, it may occur at lower altitudes, where the fuel can sometimes impact the ground below. The safety of passengers, crew, and those on the ground is always a top priority for pilots. Emergency procedures are designed to be as safe as possible, even under highly pressurized circumstances. In the case of this Boeing 777 flight, the aircraft was required to return to the airport immediately, and time was a significant factor. The pilots needed to make critical decisions that prioritized safe landing while minimizing the risks involved. When considering fuel dumping, it's also helpful to understand the regulatory side. Aviation authorities around the world have guidelines and restrictions for fuel jettison procedures. These guidelines take into account the type of emergency, altitude, and location to limit potential impacts on people and the environment. This particular incident, while rare, has drawn attention to the protocols surrounding emergency fuel release. For residents in Los Angeles who experienced discomfort as a result, assistance from emergency responders was provided on the ground. Following the event, regulatory bodies initiated a review to assess how the procedure was carried out and whether improvements to safety protocols could be made. Fuel dumping is a last resort, one that is undertaken only when absolutely necessary. Situations like these underscore the importance of safety measures and emergency preparedness in aviation and highlight the rigorous training pilots undergo. Procedures are constantly reviewed to ensure that the balance between safety and minimal environmental impact is maintained. The event involving the Boeing 777 is an example of how the aviation industry operates under complex and demanding conditions to keep everyone safe. Every incident provides an opportunity to learn and improve, helping make air travel one of the safest modes of transportation available.